Yeah, last time we reviewed soul's conversion on chapter 9. You may remember the conversation between Jesus and Ananias. When Jesus told Ananias to visit Saul and restore his vision, actually Ananias hesitated. He didn't willingly obey to Jesus Christ because he knew what Saul has done to the churches, to the believers. So Jesus shared his plan for Saul with Ananias. What was it? Jesus said, "He is a chosen instrument of mine to carry out my name before the Gentiles, the kings, and the children of Israel." Right? Yes. God chooses people and uses them to achieve his great works. And you and I were called for this great mission. Today we read Acts chapter 9, verse 26 to 35, but I will deal with the rest of the part as well. So from verse 20 to verse 43. Generally, chapter 9 is known as like a false conversion chapter. Yeah, that's true. It's really important in church history. Yeah, Paul's conversion is really important. And we cannot deny that actually chapter 9 focused on his conversion as well. And after his conversion, actually he devoted himself really enthusiastically as well, as we know. According to verse 20, Saul stayed with the disciples at Damascus for few days, and immediately he proclaimed the gospel. He proclaimed that Jesus is the Messiah. He entered the synagogue, and he said, "He is the Son of God." Wow! Can you imagine? He was completely, totally changed in only a few days. It was unbelievable. It's hard to accept it. That's why verse 21 reports like this way. All who heard him were amazed and said, "Is not this the man who made havoc in Jerusalem of those who called upon his name? And has he not come here for the purpose to bring them bound before the chief priest?" Right. His change was that much shocking and unacceptable. But Saul increased his voice all the more in strength and confounded the Jews who lived in Damascus by proving that Jesus was the Messiah. The word "prove" on verse 22 in Greek is "sumbibazo," and this word refers to like a bring together. Prove by showing the evidence, and originally "sumbibazo" refers to like bring together. Can you imagine? Saul entered the synagogue and he collected all the evidence from the Old Testament about the prophecy about the Messiah in the Old Testament, and he matched Jesus' life. See, this prophecy was accomplished in Jesus' life this way, and this was that way, something like that. That's why the Jews who heard his proof were confounded. They were surprised that they couldn't find anything to defeat, against Paul's research. As we know, Paul was trained in the law under Gamaliel, one of the most expert at that time, right? And he was zealous for God. And as I said, after his conversion, he devoted himself to God more than others. As a chosen people, he did his best. And as the result, many Gentiles could hear the gospel, and they accepted Jesus as their Savior. And many churches were established, and even many books of New Testament were written by Paul. Yes, he was a really, really great servant of God. He was a really, really excellent instrument of God. But remember this, God does not always use capable, excellent, or talented person only for his great works. According to the verses 26 to 30 and below, this passage reports how God have used and how God is using people. According to verse 22 to 30, Saul tried to join the disciples in Jerusalem, but the disciples in Jerusalem couldn't believe him. They rejected him. Probably some of them were persecuted by Saul, who knows? Or some of their family members were persecuted, possibly. And they all knew what Saul has done to church in Jerusalem. He tore up the church in Jerusalem, right? So they couldn't accept him right away. But Barnabas brought him to the church and brought him to the apostles and told how Saul had seen Jesus. What Jesus told him and what Saul had done in Damascus. How boldly he preached the gospel. How effectively he proved Jesus is the Messiah. So it means like Barnabas voluntarily became Saul's guarantor or supporter, right? You guys may remember who Barnabas is. Acts 11:24 describes Barnabas as he was a good man, full of the Holy Spirit and faith, and great a number of people were brought to the Lord. Actually, his name was Joseph, but the apostles called him Barnabas, which means son of encouragement. From this, we can guess, he had been encouraged many people, right? And to encourage people, and he must be comforting them as well. Actually, there are many Barnabas in churches. Barnabas lived in 2000 years ago, but even today, there are many Barnabas in churches. They listen to others patiently. They have sympathy on their sorrow, or they understand their hardship. Even they tolerate their complaints. They worry about others. Encourage them and pray for them. You may meet these people in our church or in other churches or in other places as well. Even though they are not like a golden mouth, they have not trained counseling professionally. However, you may feel comfortable to talk to them and how you be encouraged. Generally, people think a spiritual gift means speaking tongues, seeing a vision, or healing the sick. Yes, right. These gifts come from God. Yeah, they are one of them. Some of them. However, Romans chapter 12 tells us that we have different gifts. Not only that kind of a spiritual gift, but also people may think this is normal and ordinary, like listen to others, serving others, teaching, leading others, comforting, encouraging. Surprising. And even Paul mentioned that love as well. All these characteristics he categorized as gift, and all gifts come from God. If you greet newcomer and comfort them and help them to settle down our churches, or if you greet others who in need and help them in the name of Jesus, you are the second or the third another Barnabas. God will use you in that way. And God have used many Barnabas for his kingdom. Peter traveled about the country to preach the gospel, as we know, right? He proclaimed the kingdom of God and healed the sick many times. Yeah, he was a really powerful servant. Jesus gave him and other disciples the power and authority to heal and to perform the miraculous signs, right? And Peter was one of the most powerful servants. And when he went to Lydda to visit the saints, he met Aeneas, a paralytic, who had been bedridden for 8 years. Peter said, Aeneas, Jesus Christ heals you. Rise and make you well. Then, immediately, Aeneas got up, and all the residents of the Lydda and Sharon saw him, and they turned to the road. Okay, it's not Peter's power. It's not came from him alone, right? But the great works of the Holy Spirit healed Aeneas. Would you imagine Peter, who denied Jesus Christ 3 times, would be filled with the Holy Spirit and would perform these kind of miraculous signs? But Jesus chose Peter. He chose him as his instrument, and Jesus used Peter. According to Acts chapter 5, verse 15, people brought many sick people on the street with their bed or with their mat, so that even when Peter passed by, they hoped Peter's shadow would cover them. It seems even though his shadow covered, they would be healed. He was that much powerful servant of God. Again, not by his power, but by the power of the Holy Spirit. Actually, Peter was deserved to be blamed. He was deserved to be branded as a betrayer. He was supposed to live like his whole life without guilty to betray Jesus Christ. However, Jesus never leave him alone, or never leave him in that situation. He came to Jesus and picked him up, and he used him. Peter was used for God's great works. Barnabas was used. I'm really glad when I read this passage and thankful that Aeneas was in faith community. Actually, the Bible doesn't say whether he was a believer or not. The church members in Lydda maybe brought him because they heard Peter would visit them, or Aeneas was one of the church members. Generally, theologians assume that he was a church member. Either he is a church member or not, it's obvious that the church in Lydda had a connection with Aeneas, who had suffered from paralysis for 8 years. We all know what paralytic is, right? It's a disease lose like muscle function. It can be a part of the whole body. He laid down and stayed for 8 years on the bed. It means he couldn't live a normal life. He couldn't eat, he couldn't wash, he couldn't cook, he couldn't play. He was in need, and the church visited him and accepted him, took care of him, and brought him to the presence of God. When Peter came, Peter visited them. That's a church's role. That's a believer's role. The Bible does not provide any more details about the church in Lydda, the believers in Lydda. That's it. That's the only account in the Bible. So we don't know how much they were used for God. However, it's obvious they were used. Right? God used them. Tabitha is the same. Verse 26 reports she was always doing good and helping the poor. And actually, we don't know what she did to help the poor. But when she died, many widows and church members brought like robes and clothes that Tabitha made while she was alive. So we can assume that she made like clothes and give the poor. Like in this like winter time, cold time. Many like organizations, non-profit organizations, or people like share, distribute food and clothes, right? Like that way, probably Tabitha did that kind of like ministry. That's it. Even though I'm not sure how much she was talented, I'm not sure how much she was rich. However, God used her. We can assume, because she has a relationship with the like of the widows, probably she was one of the widows as well. People think that she is in need, but she shared the talents and the profit, the possession, what she has, what she was given by God. Church members asked Peter for Tabitha, and Peter prayed and told this dead woman, Tabitha, arise. This is like in Aramaic, it's like a Tabitha kum. You may remember Dalida kum, right? In this situation, Tabitha kum, Tabitha, get up, arise. Then she opened her eyes and she saw Peter and she sat up. Through her resurrection, many people in Joppa believe in Jesus. Look how the Holy Spirit has working among the believers. His work, his way is way more transcend our common sense. The sick people are healed, and the dead are revived. Saul, who was refused to accept Jesus, and even more, who persecuted the believers, became an instrument of God. Can you explain this? Can you explain this? You and I were here, I am here. We were called by God and we came here. Can you explain logically? Only by the grace of God. Only by the grace of God. Because God called us. We can be here, right? I also did not believe in God. Even though I was born in pastor's family. Still, I cannot explain why, how come I could accept Jesus as my Savior, and I became a pastor. It's by His grace. According to verse 31, the church throughout Judea, Galilee, and Samaria enjoyed a time of peace. It was strengthened and encouraged by the Holy Spirit, and it grew in number, living in the fear of the Lord. People who received different talents are valuably used by God and established the church, the body of Christ, right? Some may knew that they were used by Christ, or some may not, but they were all used as God's chosen instrument. The word I prefer, as God's chosen vessel. Do you know how silly verse 30 is? Silly or some funny, some weird. Peter, verse 43 says, Peter stayed in Joppa for many days with one Simon, a tanner. When Peter rose, Davida, do you remember what he did, how he did? He told Davida, get up. After she opened her eyes and she realized Peter, and then she sat up. And then Peter took her, stretched his hands and raised her. And he called people. He presented she was alive. The sequence is really important. He didn't touch her until she arrived. There was distance. And he told Davida, raise up. She was dead, and she was not supposed to touch the dead people. So that's why, after she opened her eyes, she arrived, she was alive. And then, he hold her. But now, 43, he stayed in tanner's house. Who's tanner? Dealing with the animal skin. It's already dead. According to the law, it's unclean. In his mind, touching the dead is unclean, but in his mind, staying with the tanner's house is okay. What's the standard? It doesn't make sense. However, in this strange and silly situation, God used him, right? Even though he has many kinds of bias and limits, even though he was devoted to God and he was being used as a God's chosen instrument, but God trained him, and he used him. We all know that in chapter 10, how God opened Peter's eyes, changed his mind. Please remember, whether we are perfect or not, whether we are talented or not, we are God's chosen instruments. All of us are chosen instruments. We are called to preach the gospel, to prove Jesus is the Messiah in our lives, in our ministries, in our work, in our school. Please check what kind of talents you have received. God gave us a talent. Not to boast, not to reveal our glory, our name, but to reveal His glory, but to carry the valuable, precious name of Jesus Christ. As the gospel was spread by the apostles and the early church members, I bless and I pray the kingdom of God will be expanded through our lives. And the number of believers will be multiplied through our dedication. That's why we are here. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, thank you for calling us